Well, hello Dirtfish Rally friends, and for the final time this week, welcome to the service park here in Mikołajki. Rally Poland is done and dusted. You can see the super special behind me, the grandstands are empty, the cars are heading into Park Fermi, and we have had really, I think, quite a dramatic and exciting event here. Yes, we've seen one or two issues, but hats off to the organisers for getting on top of those issues that we saw on Friday. Saturday and Sunday were fantastic days. Overall, it was a great return to Poland. We saw enormous crowds, we saw enormous jumps, we saw incredible, breathtaking speed in the forests. We saw and enjoyed a great atmosphere for this round of the WRC. Pros and cons about the return to Poland, but my pro-conometer is very much in the pro-red. Is that right? You know what I'm trying to say, don't you? Let's talk then, folks, about the event itself. Wow, Kalle Rovanperä. We used to call him the boy wonder. In some ways we still do. We used to refer to him as a freak. In some ways he still is. I've many times referred to him as the greatest motorsport exponent that we have anywhere in motorsport these days. I firmly believe he is. And he showed that this week here in Poland. Turning up on the Tuesday, really absolutely, never mind underprepared, not prepared at all for the event. A recce that was far from ideal, goes into the stages and showed his absolute class. He was magnificent, did a great job clearly for the team. Kalle Rovanperä wins Rally Poland. Back to the jet ski with the winner's prize there, straight in the plane and back to the jet ski.
No, I'm going straight to the plane, flying to Imola today, and tomorrow 8 a.m. I'm starting my test.
Is that right, in the Porsche?
Yeah, tomorrow morning is test day, so yeah, it's gonna be still a long night ahead.
Oh, listen, the jet ski's important. When are you going to fit the jet ski in?
The plan was for this week, so it's a bit now.
Yes, it is. Kalle, I have to say, one of the most impressive performances we've seen in a long time. Did you think it was possible?
Yeah, I knew it was possible, of course. You always have to count on yourself, but yeah, I wasn't even really hoping it myself. I just wanted to have a clean weekend, come here and do a good job for the team, because yeah, otherwise we would have been wasting everybody's time. So yeah, to bring it home like this, it's quite special.
So Kalle Rovanperä jumping in the plane, he's off to Imola to do a little bit more roundy racing. And do you know why he does that? Just to remind him how great rallying is and how much better it is than the roundy stuff. Doing a great job there with the Porsche races though, isn't he? Second place here in Poland, well, it was Elfyn Evans. Great return to form for Elfyn Evans. He had problems this weekend, but the most important thing is he felt way more comfortable in the car. A mixed event for Elfyn Evans. He does close that gap to the man in front of him. He has shown a welcome return to form. He has shown that if things go his way on fast gravel, he could well be the man to beat. Elfyn Evans hasn't been well this weekend. He goes away with a second place. He goes away having reduced the gap to Thierry Neuville. Is he happy? Elfyn, it just wasn't your weekend, was it?
No, doesn't look like. Seems like the speed was not too bad this weekend, especially Friday I think was quite good with the road position we had. Saturday morning also quite good. Obviously then that tight lamination on the first one sort of knocked us back a bit and caused puncture again here now in the power stage. So yeah, just not worked out. And of course the Sunday points thing penalises you so heavily for a little issue like that.
You have been unwell this weekend, Elfyn. How has that affected you?
Lived with it, it's fine. Not a big deal.
You are a bit of a trooper, aren't you? You're a bit of a, just get on with it and deal with it.
Well, you don't have choices.
So Elfyn Evans doing a really super job here in the stages, considering those issues he had, particularly, well, that one puncture today and then that severe delamination he suffered yesterday afternoon. In third place, it's M Sport's Adrian Fourmaux. What a joy he has been to watch this weekend. He's a joy in terms of his driving in the stages, his commitment, his ability, his pace is wonderful to see. But out of the car, he's a delight to talk to, and that's so important, A lot of times we've heard levelled at top-class motorsport these days, there aren't enough characters. Well, there's no question. Adrian Fourmaux is a proper character, but more important than that, he is a proper talent. Showed good pace this weekend, showed again that the M Sport Puma is still capable of winning stages, still capable of scoring podiums. If you're capable of doing those two things, you're capable of winning rallies. That is for sure. We caught up with Adrian Fourmaux just a little while ago.
I think as a team it's a really good event because even Mārtiņš for his first time was showing a good thing. For Grégoire it was good also, and for us to be back on the podium it shows that the car is competitive and we can be close to them and fighting with them, so it's really, really positive. We didn't have the best road position on Friday, and we are there and we are fighting for the podium on the Super Sunday. Some points again, some extra points on the power stage. I'm really, really pleased with that, and I hope there is more coming.
So the man who came here leading the championship still leads the championship, albeit by a slightly reduced margin to Elfyn Evans. That is Thierry Neuville. It was a mixed weekend, I think it's fair to say, for Thierry Neuville. He really struggled with that new mapping on the car. He struggled with road position. He struggled with lots of things this weekend. Didn't score perhaps the points on Saturday that he was looking to score. Redeemed himself with a power stage win just behind us here earlier on. But I think it's fair to say Neuville was looking for more from this weekend.
Somehow it has been a challenging weekend, yeah, for sure. And to be honest, I was very released when I came to the finish, and felt like a lot of pressure was gone, because obviously only myself and Mārtiņš, we know really how tough the conditions were out there. And yeah, it's always tough to explain to the people how challenging it is being first on the road, and already second can go so much faster. But I mean, my father is following WRC for 15 years and he still don't understand the cleaning. So it's very tough. It's very tough, and even for us sometimes it's hard to judge, because first day, second stage, I make the fastest time, and I didn't feel like great. And on the other stages, I lost 20 seconds on 20k. So
yeah, do you know what? I've known Papa Neuville for 15 years. I'm surprised, Papa Neuville, that you're not quite aware, but maybe that just goes to show how difficult it is to explain the intricacies of road cleaning. Papa Neuville, a little bit more homework needed. Maybe a little chat over a glass of wine with your boy. Maybe Sunday lunch next week, who knows. Fifth, is this maybe one of the most impressive debuts we've seen at top level rallying? It's right up there, isn't it? Yeah, maybe there have been one or two that have been better than this, but for a driver who was, I'm not going to say anonymous, because he wasn't anonymous, but he hasn't come through the usual, if you like, route into Rally 1. Normally we see drivers coming from juniors into Rally 2 and then into top line rally cars, all within the WRC. Sesks has done his learning in the ERC, and it's paid dividends here because he knew these stages. But you know, that counts for something. But what counts more for this result is his ability. His ability to be able to drive that car quickly, but more importantly, to learn that car quickly. His stage end interviews in particular this weekend were really, really entertaining, showing us what we've been missing. By the way, folks, you might have noticed a subtle change where we're standing. The wind is getting up, and you know, Elliot, who does a wonderful job with our videography, decided that more important you could hear me, which is odd, rather than the wind. So we've come down for a bit of shelter down here by the cars and by Parc Fermé. Yeah, Mārtiņš Sesks, mega exciting. Can't wait to see what he can do in Latvia in a few weeks' time, and maybe more than that. I can't wait to see what the atmosphere is going to be like.
Yeah, it was incredible to be part of all this, and yeah, quite sad to leave the car now here, because really enjoyed to drive it.
What did you think you could do this weekend? What targets had you set yourself?
For us, the initial thought to be between Rally 1 and Rally 2 cars would be enough. So yeah, I think we exceeded that a little bit. The most important thing which we showed, that drivers from ERC are capable of driving WRC 1 car, and I think it gave a bit of a confidence boost to my fellow drivers in ERC that they are capable of it as well. So I think this one should bring a bit more knowledge to everyone, that what's happening also with the non-hybrid and hybrid cars, that we are competitive in that as well. So,
well, the man who very much lost out in terms of overall standings today was Andreas Mikkelsen. Started the day in second place with 4 stages to go, with perhaps one eye on putting some pressure on Kalle Rovanperä. That all went to pot during the opening stage of the morning. A puncture for Andreas Mikkelsen cost him bucket loads of time, and he dropped back down to 6th. But It's been a hugely positive weekend for Mikkelsen. He did exactly what he had to do. He finished second yesterday evening. That secured the manufacturer points for Hyundai. Big tick this weekend for Andreas Mikkelsen. A word obviously for Gregoire Munster. Yes, he got his best result in Sardinia, but this was his best drive. No question about that. Showed some tremendous pace this weekend, showed a tremendous improvement in his ability to maintain that pace through the stages. He finished in 7th, but he goes to Latvia full of confidence and renewed hope for what he can perhaps do and contribute in that M Sport Puma car. You know, we've had a lot of very positive stories to come out of this weekend in terms of drivers. Nearly all the drivers, I think, have had something that they can look back on and say, yeah, okay, that's where I take to Latvia, that's my starting point, that's what was positive about this weekend in Poland. The one driver who just wants to write it off and forget all about it is Takamoto Katsuta. Such a difficult weekend for him. On a rally that promised an awful lot, we did expect more. I'm sure the team expected more. If there's one person that definitely expected more, it's Taka himself. Baffling his lack of form. He needs to find solutions quickly. He needs to bounce back for sure in a few weeks' time in Latvia and show us exactly what he can do on these fast gravel events. And the only top line driver we haven't mentioned yet is Tänak. We all know what happened on Friday. If you don't know what happened, ping that button up there. We made a little video stage side with Tänak on Friday. That'll tell you all you need to know about the weekend he has had. I think there are positives though. He looked remarkably quick through shakedown and through that opening part of that first stage. And first on the road this morning, he also looked remarkably quick out there, Tänak. He's got something to build on. He does go to Estonia next week in that Rally 1 car to get more seat time, to get a better feeling for the car ahead of Latvia. Tänak, yes, he's 21 points behind Neuville now. That is still a margin that he will very much feel that he can get on top of in the coming events. Sami Päivärinta just heading out back towards the hotel there. What a weekend he had. Back-to-back wins in WRC2 for Päivärinta. He is setting out his stall for this year's WRC2 championship.
Completely flat out from the beginning, and maybe just this last stage I was able to be careful and calm down a bit, but still even the second last stage I was still pushing quite much not to lose too many seconds there, so it's a really big relief.
And second in WRC2 was Oliver Solberg. It was a great comeback from Solberg. He was strangely out of sorts on Friday. A very odd performance from him indeed. Strange weekend, lacked confidence, but he dug deep, really did dig deep, and he secured that second place and those all-important points in what is shaping up to be an incredible battle in WRC2. You know, that fight for that second place and final podium place, it was great. Josh McAlean was there. He had a problem though. You can see that video as well on our YouTube channel. So who was third? Well, it was Robert Virves. Fantastic result from him. His first podium in WRC2. He took that podium place by 0.6 of a second, would you believe, from the chasing Georg Linnamäe. It was a great, great weekend in WRC2. So there we are, folks. I have to say, I love Poland. I love the enthusiasm. I love the atmosphere. I more than love the stages. Some of the footage this weekend, particularly from the helicopter, has been quite remarkable out here. Yes, they've had issues. The very strong positive is that they sorted those issues out. You know, we are a sport that aspires to greater things, and if we aspire to greater things, we have to work out how to deal with greater interest and bigger crowds. There's a lesson to have been learned this weekend, and I think the organisers have learned it well. Oh, you can tell I'm having a bit of a failure with the voice. It's beginning to go, folks. It's just about held up. It'll be back in a few weeks' time for Latvia. Thank you very much, folks. It is now on its last legs. Thanks for joining us, folks. It's been a joy to be back at Rally Poland.